Welcome everybody to PinstripeChronicles podcast. I am Tats. I'm here with Rob and Donald. And joining us today is the infamous Pete Simonetti. Pete, how have you been, and how is the network going?
I have been terrific. I'm tired. A lot of work for the network, but it's been worth it. It's been absolutely amazing, man. We in the last 28 days we've hit. I think it was like we're 468% up on some categories, like impressions. God. We had like 1.3 million, 1.4 million impressions on the network. The website's doing terrific. The merch is doing really well. It's been fun, man. It's been fun. We got a really talented team. Everybody's mind is at the same level, and we've had in a good and bad way, I guess you could say it. It's been an interesting offseason for the Yankees. Yeah. So we've had a lot to talk about. And yeah, now we're here, right? Now baseball is back and our season's about to be underway.
Yeah, no, it's a shame that the Yankees, game was postponed, but it really shouldn't take away from the celebration that tomorrow we do get baseball back.
Correct.
So a lot of us that do watch other teams, we still have a fun day ahead of us. Yep. But to stay with the Yankees, I want to lead off bringing up, what was your take on Cashman not being able to keep his mouth shut and continue using 2017 as an excuse for his ineptitude?
My goodness, I did a rant when this first came out, and it's funny because people enjoy when I do rants, but the person who doesn't enjoy them is me. I don't like doing them. I really don't. It's just, I know. At the end of the day, I got a network, and I want to put my true feelings out there, and I am what you see. That is me. Yep. Like if you guys, I don't know who, I think Donald, I think you're coming out on June 25th. The guy you see today, the guy you see on lives, that's who I am. I mean, and that doesn't change for anything. And when I heard the comments, to me, it was an insult as a fan. I mean, that's the way I saw it. It's just another thing that this organization, leadership. I want to focus on leadership here, not the players on the field. Leadership has said things over the last year or so that really just baffles my mind. I don't understand where it's coming from. And it's kind of like, I almost feel like they're taking this legacy of the Yankees and just dragging it through the mud. Oh, we haven't won since this year, and I get offended when people say we don't because we really won in 17. Well, what makes you think that you would have beat the Dodgers one? And what makes you think you would even beat the Astros? So you're going out. You guys didn't score. You didn't score no runs. So no matter, look, nobody's sitting here saying what the Astros did was fine. But why are you bitching about it 5 years later? Why did you also fire Joe Girardi? He's a two-time World Series manager then. And on top of it, you do know this, typically 2 to 3 World Series titles get you in the Hall of Fame as a manager. So this guy would have had a strong chance of continuing his career as a Yankee and maybe being a Hall of Fame manager. According to his own general manager, he won a World Series in 2017. That's how he should have felt. And he lost his job. So, I mean, I don't like it. I think it's just weak. I don't think it's the Yankee way. I think you don't necessarily have to just say we're moving on, but I mean, come on, man. What is the reason to bring up 2017? And on top of that, you got Carlos Beltran in the booth. You got Marwin Gonzalez that you signed has made this roster, but you're talking about these guys being cheaters. So, and Marwin Gonzalez might have benefited more than anybody.
Yeah, and they even offered Verlander a deal in the beginning of the offseason.
Exactly.
So how upset are you at that team? When you step back and you think about it.
There's holes throughout his argument, Pete.
Yeah.
All through his argument, you can just pick holes through it. It's just crazy stuff he was coming out with, like, oh, we did everything the right way. We drafted well. We traded well. I mean, it was like, come on, man. I mean, even if you go through that, he didn't actually trade or draft that well because he's the only person who's really developed has turned into a super all-star is Aaron Judge.
Right.
Who did he trade well with? What? Aaron.
My thing is here's my thing with Brian Cashman. This is the way I sum Brian Cashman up. You have a payroll that's roughly $260 million. I did this on a live. I went over the whole entire roster. You look at that roster and you tell me that's $260 million roster. It's not.
Oh, no.
It's just not. That's just a reality. It's not. That's the team he built. No matter what anybody wants to say about Steinbrenner, okay, I get it. I don't think he's the rah want to win type owner. I don't think that's him. He's not like his father in that degree. He'll say it, but I don't think he knows his ass from his elbow when it comes to baseball and what the product needs to look like on the field. But you hear him talk and you hear these guys talk and you just sit back and go, well, Cashman, you're making these excuses. This is your team. Like Francis said on our podcast, Designated Spitters, he said, at the end of the day, the Dodgers lost. What have they done since after that? After they lost in 20, look at all the guys this team has signed. Mookie Betts, Scherzer they traded for. They've made countless move after move. Yeah, the Yankees got Stanton and things like that after it, but you can't sit there and just cry about, I don't know, throughout history, a Yankee owner, leader, manager who cried about, oh, this was the reason we didn't win. No, you lost.
Yep.
It's just fact. You haven't won. Like I said, he doesn't like that people say that. Well, Brian, I'm sorry, but fact is a fact. You have not won since 09.
Yeah, if you're that upset about it, do something about it. You had all the players that were available this offseason, and they all ended up going somewhere else.
Well, he bullshits. That's what Brian Cashman does. Mm-hmm. He bullshits because one of the things he also said was, I had to get creative. What was creative? And this is the thing that I think fans don't understand. Fans think that, well, if you knock the Yankees or if you criticize the offseason, you're not a fan of the team. You're hoping they lose. No, that's not true. I'm criticizing what he is doing to my baseball IQ, which is calling me and all you guys morons. Yep, that's what he's doing. He said he got creative. Somebody explained to me where the creativity was. What would have been creative was him saying, oh, okay, we got a payroll. We don't want to go over this. What do I have to do to get rid of certain guys on this roster to give me a little more flexibility to maybe go out there and get a Robbie Ray, because that rotation is a lot nicer with Robbie Ray in it right now, or with or a Correa, 4 years. If I were to come on here and told you guys before the offseason, Carlos Correa is going to sign a 4-year deal, everyone would have said, oh, he's coming to the Yankees. Yep. 4 years, of course he's going to be a Yankee. That's insane. And the Yankees really just sat out on the entire thing. And I don't know if I said it on your guys' show, maybe the last time I was on it, but I was told really early after the World Series by 4 people I really trust. They said they're not going to add any large contract, but they're going to look to re-sign Judge. And I sat there and I said, I don't believe that. It's definitely not going to happen. Not with the guys they have. There's no way. Mm-hmm. And then it happens and you're like, well, how the hell did this happen? Yeah. How did they go about this? This is ridiculous.
It's like, even though we anticipated it happening, the fact that it actually did is, I think Cashman's just really lost. Every time he speaks, it shows that he's completely lost touch with the fan base itself.
Yes.
He neglects the fact that, like a lot of baseball fans, but more highlighted with the big teams, Dodgers, Yankees, we know our baseball. We study how it's played. We study the offseason, how moves are done, how, the prospects, the minor leagues, we watch everything. You can't fool us. And he thinks we're fools.
I believe that the Yankees, certainly what Cashman's excuse was, I believe that he's verbalized my belief that the Yankees are using the Astros in 2017 as a crutch rather than a motivator to get better. Because his excuse right there is him using it as a crutch. Because, you just mentioned there what Francis was saying, Designated Spitters, that the Dodgers like, right, get Mookie Betts. We'll go and get the best players to be able to go and just kick the Astros' ass next time. But the Yankees are just using it as an excuse. And it's like, that's what frustrates me. And another thing that you pick up another point you were saying there. Remember when Cashman was like, Hal's budget didn't allow us the flexibility this offseason, so we had to get it creative. And then he started listing all the mistakes that he made. Yeah. Chapman's contract, Hicks contract.
Thank you. That's exactly what I said.
Braden's contract. I was like, bro, am I in another universe? You're just basically mentioning all the mistakes that you made.
Exactly.
And any other GM would be like, right, okay, so this is a generational offseason. This is a generational offseason. Yeah. This is an opportunity to really improve this talent. Yep. If these contracts are stopping me from going into this market, then I need to move some of these contracts.
Of course.
Now, he's done it before. He did it before. He moved off Ottavino's contract in order to allow him to re-sign DJ LeMahieu, et cetera, right? He's done it before. So you're telling me you couldn't move Chapman's contract to say the Padres, who need a closer?
Yeah.
Or at least have them eat like 70% of that contract in order for him to enter the market? It's an excuse. It is all an excuse. And the worst thing is about half this fan base buy it and laugh it up.
Well, that's the problem. And again, like I don't know if maybe sometimes I don't relate the right way. I mean, I try to, I think I do, but I think some fans don't understand. When I bring up, that's the reason why I created NY News TV. This is exactly the reason. You know, I had a conversation the other day with a couple of former Yankees that were on the 98 team, put it that way, about potentially joining our network. One of them just flat out said, you guys will probably guess who this is, that he's completely anti-baseball now. He can't stand it. It's absolutely ridiculous. And he said he doesn't enjoy talking to it anymore. Used to be on the network, no longer there. And he just doesn't enjoy it anymore. He doesn't enjoy baseball in general. He told me flat out, it's just all bullshit now. And that's one of the main reasons why I created NY News TV, because it's not a knock on baseball. It's not a knock on the Yankees. It's a knock on how the Yankees are being covered is what really pisses me off. I mean, how can you be a beat writer, right? And you write an article. Somebody please explain this to me, how much low baseball knowledge you got to have. And your article says Garrett Cole was called obscene words in Fenway Park. Well, no shit. What do you expect them to do? Pat him on the back? Yeah. I mean, these articles, I see these things and my head explodes and I just say, what you said. Like what you said, I hear his quotes and I'm like, what world are we living in? Is this a different planet? What's going on here? So I hear these things and I go, you know what? This is my motivation every single day to keep working harder, to grow this network to insane levels, because somebody has to do it. There got to be more people that just step up and go, look, we just want the truth. That's all. There's nothing wrong with Brian Cashner coming out and saying, hey, look, I had to move Hicks. You know why? It didn't work out. I'm moving Chapman because we're paying him $18 million. I don't think that was a smart move on my part. I'd respect him a lot more as a man if you just come out and go, look, they were bad moves for me. Everybody sitting in this room right now knows we would be utterly shocked if Aaron Hicks is healthy and has a productive year. I know I would be. I would be out my mind shocked. Why is Aaron Hicks in center field still?
No idea.
It makes no sense.
Plus, Cashman did say that he was going to go into the center field market this offseason. So that's
he did a hell of a job with it.
He didn't do a job at all of it. And you brought up Robbie Ray, which is someone that I've been following you for a while, and you've mentioned it countless times how interested he always was in Robbie Ray when he was with Arizona.
Yeah.
And he didn't get him. And this would have been the perfect time to get him when he's coming off of a Cy Young year. Yep. But it's like his ego didn't want to do it because he wanted to get Robbie Ray and he wanted the Yankees to be the team that he wanted Cy Young for. Correct. He transformed his career with the Blue Jays, so it kind of hurts Cashman's ego. And this is something that we bring up all the time, that Cashman's ego is really what causes him to say these stupid things. He's just so full of himself. So but he didn't want to give $23 million to Robbie Ray for multiple years, but he wanted to give 25 to Verlander. But then he just turned around and blamed Verlander's team for the reason that you weren't in the World Series since 2009. So I don't get it. A lot of what he does is very stupid. It's head scratching because he does make some good moves. Like some of these trades he's made over the last week are smart trades, the relief pitcher swap and getting the backup catcher from a position of strength. But then you look at other things like if getting Josh Donaldson was creative, and I don't know what else he thinks is creative because that's not a creative move. You didn't have to upgrade third base. And I think Donaldson will be good this year, but you didn't have to do that to get the shortstop. If that was your way of getting creative at your shortstop, you could have had Falefa before the lockout. Yeah. Because Texas signed 2 shortstops and he was available before the lockout. And there were so many moves he could have made. He could have upgraded catcher, shortstop, if he wanted to, center field, starting pitching, all before the lockout. He didn't do any of it. after telling us he had some latitude in the budget going into this offseason. So he
That's
lied
a
to
lie.
Yeah, it was just a bunch of lies, and now he's, like you said earlier, trying to make us look like morons. But a lot of us have been watching this game for too long, and we can see through the BS, and that's what bothers me as a fan. It's like you said, a smack in the face. It's like I've put in over 20 years of watching this team. I like to think I know the sport somewhat. I can see through your lies, Cashman, and I'm glad more fans are seeing it. But at some point, he just needs to man up and own up to it and have some accountability. Something Donald says all the time. There's no accountability with this organization right now.
There's not.
Chapman should never have been brought back a second time. No, you don't pay a closer $18 million in this baseball league right now. You just don't do it. Not when you can find guys like Miguel Castro, who you just traded for, who's making nothing. You know, Loizaga is making nothing. The whole bullpen compared to Chapman is making nothing.
Well, that's one of the things too that I've brought up constantly. Why you have $30-something million of 2 relief pitchers when when one of the things you know about your organization, and I'll pat them on the back for this, they find relief pitching constantly.
Yeah,
they always find guys that again. Luckily for me, I remember when the Clay Holmes deal happened. I got a very good friend. I got a couple of good friends that are in Pittsburgh and actually are big Pirates fans. So I get a lot of good information about Pirates players. And he messaged me immediately and go, Pete, if this guy could throw strikes or they can figure something out with him, he is elite. Elite. I said, really? He goes, yeah, trust me. Wait till you see him. He goes, this guy is legitimately good. And the Yankees find those guys. Look, Miguel Castro, you just brought him up. You're 100% right. Miguel Castro's only problem is he can't throw strikes that much. But here's one of the things that Matt Blake does really good. People think that Matt Blake is more of a mechanic. He's not. What Matt Blake is, he's just one of these guys that really know about sequence. He understands pitch sequence really well. And he knows all the other analytical stuff, but the old school mindset of a pitching coach was, I'm a mechanic. I go to the mound and I can adjust you in a way, or your delivery in a way where now you might feel a little better. You might feel more comfortable. Maybe we'll get a little more velocity out of you, something. What Matt Blake does is he'll say, okay, you're throwing this pitch too many times. You got to restructure that. We got to go more slider. We got to go slider for. He works a lot on sequence, and it's worked out very well. So there's some guys that could get a first pitch, throw me over slider, and that maybe they never did before. They come out there trying to just throw gas, and it's in the dirt. It's everywhere. They're behind 2-0. He does a lot with sequence where he could get ahead of guys easier. So they may not have improved on control, but they don't walk as many guys because they're getting ahead easier. If that makes sense.
No, I think Matt Blake is really, is just what that pitching staff needed, especially with a lot of the younger arms. I think he's done very well. We saw right away last year with Clay Holmes. Another one. He came over and they pretty much fixed him almost right away.
Yeah.
And
Mike Harkey, I think Harkey is excellent as well.
Yeah, well, Harkey and having Harkey and Blake, that's a pitcher's dream come true. But you already, we saw like Wandy Peralta was another player. We're like, what the hell, but he ended up putting some good innings together for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So look at Licky. Had to revitalize his career. So the pitching staff, I think, is set. The hitting team, that's another story. We'll see how it goes this year. The only thing that the offense really has to focus on is not getting into a double play 5 times an inning. That's got to stop. But,
and for me, the rotation. Here's my, and I don't want to jump too far ahead, but every team has question marks, right? Everybody has question marks. I know sometimes even myself, like Gary Sheffield Jr. the other day said, at the end of the day, there's nobody you're going to find that you can't say they're a question because anybody could be injured. But there are guys that you could kind of sit back with and say, well, if they get injured, you got question marks up and down this roster. And that's my only concern right now. So if somebody were to come to me and go, Peter, are they a better team than last year? I'd say, yes, I think they are. I think they are a more improved team. I do. I believe that. I believe they're a more improved team. How much more improved? Well, we're going to see. Because, again, you look at that rotation, right? People don't want to hear this, but, again, I really don't give a shit what people want to hear. I just tell it like it is. Garrett Cole got something to prove. for somebody to sit there and go, no, he doesn't. Yes, he does. He didn't pitch any big game last year. He didn't come through for them at all. And I'm talking about the regular season and the postseason. He didn't really come through, and that's true. The spider tech stuff, we got to wait and see. I don't think it's going to affect him on that side, but we got to see. If he ever reverts back to Cole of Pittsburgh, or if he has a high 3, low 4 ERA, his team got no shot. They got no shot. Luis Severino is a health concern. I'll be happy if he makes 20 starts. I don't know if he does.
Me too. Yeah.
Tyone, we don't know. We just don't know. I mean, here's a guy who's had injuries every single season of his career. So what changes this year? And again, it's not me putting any bad luck on them. It's just being realistic. Aaron Hicks, what are you going to get from him? Is Kyle Higashioka the guy we'll see? Now, catcher, I don't care about. Just play defense, please. Would it shock anybody if IKF hits 220? It wouldn't shock me if you look at his analytic numbers. There's nothing there that shows you Yankee fans, oh, he's going to be a 300 hitter now, 20 plus doubles, 10 plus home runs. No, there's nothing that shows that in this guy's career. Now, can he do what he did last year? Yes, and that's what you should hope for. You should completely hope that he hits 270. Donaldson, we don't know if he's ever healthy. He could go down any day. Judge and Stanton, the same thing. Yes, they've been more healthy, but you never really know it, guys. So I just feel like there's a lot of injury concern. Our Gold Glove second baseman is not starting.
There you go.
Mean, it's a roster that you look at and you just go, I don't really understand it. And
it's head scratching, isn't it, Pete? I mean, you're looking at IKF is actually, I like IKF. If there was a target that for us to have gone after, I wouldn't have had an issue with IKF on his own. I just understand inheriting Donaldson's money, but IKF is a better third baseman than he's a shortstop. And then you got your best Gold Glove second baseman on the bench. And you've for an average below average second baseman, but you need to prop up his value because you destroyed it playing at shortstop.
Yep.
But now the Yankees are saying, "Oh, we might even consider playing him some shortstop this year." Well, I mean,
I don't get it. I really
don't. It's just like the mixed narratives. It's just like unbelievable.
See, this is why I go so hard at Aaron Boone, right? You can't sit there and get mad and say, "Oh, I'm a baseball guy, bro." You're not. Your actions alone. Look, do I believe Aaron Boone's a baseball guy? Of course. His entire family going back. They're all baseball people. They're old school baseball people. Now, when he brings up, well, you'll be a moron if you don't look at these numbers. I agree with that. As a manager, you should get as much information as you can. But when it comes to people calling him a puppet, it's not based off of just the way you talk. It's based off your actions, the moves you make. Anybody knows that Anthony Rizzo should not be leading off a game. You look at that wild card lineup and you go, well, look, I know they don't have the players, but break those guys up a little bit. Yeah. Don't make 5 through 9 be a joke. And that's what it was. It was an absolute joke. So then you look at things like that. You look at Glaber going back at short. Even I would tell Glaber Torres, look, buddy, focus on second base, focus on hitting. You'll never see shortstop again.
Exactly.
You put him shortstop the other day. He makes a play. It's like he don't know where he is when he's there.
Yeah,
and I'm sitting there saying, "What? How are you a baseball guy? But you know this. You're not this. You can't be this dumb. You definitely know this. So either it comes down to what it is. He's not a baseball guy. And he's taking all the analytics and just saying, well, we'll give him reps there because whatever. Or the decisions are being made elsewhere. It's that simple. This isn't hard.
I think it's the latter. I honestly think he has zero leverage in this organization.
And one day it's going to come out, by the way. One day it's going to come. He'll write a book down the line. Watch, mark my words. I've said this countless times. It'll come out one day down the line when he's gone.
Do you know why I think that it's actually everything is just done above him is because when they fired his best friend, Phil Nevin, and he had no word.
Oh, that was
he had obviously had no word, A, for his support.
Well, do you remember?
B, if he said that, if I said anything, I wouldn't have a job.
But
I mean, that's just
But the funniest thing about it was Cashman came on before him and was like, yeah, everybody knew that he was getting fired. Then Boone comes on after him and was like, well, if I knew, then, maybe I wouldn't be here either. You're here. What are you talking? You're right here. You're right here in front of us. What are you talking about? You wouldn't have left. This is your dream job. You could do whatever you want. And all you got to do is take a lineup and go, yeah, that looks good. Throw it out there. Hey guys, everything's okay. Don't worry. We're going to have a cupcake party after our 11-3 loss. Don't worry about it. We're all good.
Yeah, Tyone said he got coffee. We're all set.
They lied to us because they last year. Cashman already came out and said the computer generates what they feel like is the best lineup, and then it's up to the manager for the human element.
Well, he also said this too. He also said Aaron Boone, we see him more as a therapist.
Exactly. Those are his words. So Cashman,
yes,
he says all these different things. He tells us the computer generates the lineup. He calls our manager a therapist, and then he turns around and says, no. He's a manager. He's not a puppet. Yeah. You're giving us every reason to call the guy a puppet. And then when we call the guy a puppet, you get mad at us. And then you get mad at the fans for saying, how dare Hal Steinbrenner, how dare anybody question Hal Steinbrenner's dedication to this team, blah, blah, blah. But when you're the one who's paying these players these contracts, so it's just, I can't stand it's like a seesaw of words between what Hal says and then what Cashman says and then what the team actually does. There's no reason Torres should be playing shortstop this year
at all.
If need be in an emergency because there's nobody else, okay, I get it. But the fact that he could very well be penciled in as the shortstop Friday, that's terrible.
Insane.
Yeah,
it's absolutely terrible. After you gave up on him, they gave up on him last year. They said we're going to give you the first 6 months of the season, and in that last 2 weeks, you know what? It's not working out. We're getting back to second base.
Oh, and yeah, I had issues with that too. That to me just made no sense. So it took you to the last 2 weeks to say, yeah, this guy's not a shortstop, guys.
Right, exactly. Everything pointed to the signs. Like, and I was supportive of Torres. I'm like, I think he can do it. And I was trying to stay on his side. And then he's just like, it's clearly affecting him on both sides of the ball right now. He can't play defense, and it's affecting him offensively. So move him back to second. He immediately looked more comfortable. He was getting the ball in the air more. The launch angle was up. And guess what? We could have seen that this year. A more 2018, not even 2019, a more 2018 Torres. How important is that to this lineup? You can get at bats to LeMahieu and Torres almost every day with the way they're able to, with LeMahieu able to play multiple positions. You don't have to play Donaldson every day. You can DH him. Use that DH role for what it's supposed to be, a rotational piece. No reason Stanton should be locked into the DH when Gallo can play center.
That's how it should be. I mean, I've been harping on that all off season. I made a video early on and I said, look, Joey Gallo got to be your center fielder. He should be. He should be a center fielder.
Should be.
And it's different between him and Judge because the difference between those guys is their body type is different. You can just look at them and see. And one thing too, Gallo is faster than Judge. He's a fast runner. He's quick. I don't want to say he has more experience, but he's played center field a little bit in Texas. And I just see the two guys and I go, you know what? I want the guy that may not be back next year to be the center fielder. Let Gallo stay out there. Yeah. And you hear the whole rumors out that, I don't, the hot mic with Judge catching him, be like, yeah, I know you're scared to play center field and stuff like that. But he came out and said, there was the rumor early on that he asked the Yankees that he doesn't want to play center. I'm sorry. For me, I'm saying, look, you're going to do what's best for the team. You're going to be out there in center field. So get used to it. Whatever we do in spring, we'll work you hard. Whatever your concerns are, let's get it out the way and get you out there in center field. That is what is best for this lineup. It's Pete, best for the lineup if he's in center.
Pete, how would you constitute the lineup 1 through 9 and where they play? How would you constitute it?
Batting order or just defensive wise?
Defensive and batting order. We'll go through it.
So catching, of course, you got Higgy there, Rizzo there. Look, man, I understand. Here's how my team would have looked. If you give me this team right now, Estevan Florial's on this team.
Yeah, me too.
And I've been saying this for a long time. I think him and Hicks as a platoon would actually have worked out well. I think it looks actually nice too. You get a tough lefty in there. Let Hicks play against a lefty and see what Flo can really do. Give this guy a shot. He homered in his yesterday's game for his first game in AAA. But I'm trying as much as I can to get DJ in the lineup every day. So that opens up the door to make Donaldson DH every now and then. Let LeMahieu at third base. You could have that platoon in center field. You can also have days where neither one of them plays center. So there's a lot of moving pieces. But for me, you got to really figure out, what does the leadoff hitter look like? Who's that? And I tell you what, I give Gleyber Torres the chance to do that this year.
Rob's been saying that. Rob's been saying that for a while.
The way this lineup is constructed.
Rob's vindicated. It's like that.
Well, hey, the way the lineup is constructed, I mean, if you could go DJ Gleyber, then get to the pop and the power, Let those other guys stay at the bottom of that order. And I know, I would even consider, as much as I dislike Aaron Hicks or Flo, or not, I don't dislike Flo, but I would even consider one of those guys mingling up top, first or second in the order. Because at the end of the day, I'm sorry, maybe people will say, well, maybe Pete, maybe you're a little too old school that you want a little bit of speed up top. Yeah, but I do. Here's the thing. When somebody says, well, Anthony Rizzo's going to lead off. Okay, Anthony Rizzo leads off. Aaron Judge, let's say Judge bats second, Judge singles. Stanton comes up, Stanton singles. You probably got bases loaded.
Then what?
I mean, that's my thing. To me, I understand the new analytic mindset. You want somebody that gets on base. Well, guess what? Good leadoff hitters do that. They get on base, they can steal, they can run, they cause havoc on the bases. I like that. 09, 98, those teams had really great top of the orders. 09, Jeter and Damon. I mean, you don't get better than that. You just don't.
Incredible.
You don't get better than that. I mean, you're putting pressure on immediately to start a game. And look, if Glaber goes back to 2018 Glaber, he's the best guy for that spot. If he proves and comes back, his bat speed looks a lot faster.
It does,
in spring. I will say that. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but his swing looks a lot better in spring this year.
It does. It looks a little bit more compact. I was looking at videos last year. It looks like, and Rob pointed this out on his Twitter, it looks like his leg kick is a little lower. I think it's good. His swing is a lot faster than it was last year.
He looks a lot quicker through the zone.
Balanced. Yeah, it looks a little bit more balanced.
A lot quicker through the zone, which really helps him. So for me, I'm looking at those guys on the top. Let Gallo bat mid-lower. Let him bat sixth. If LeMahieu's in there, bat him fifth. Put him up in an RBI position, because one thing he does, he puts the ball in play. So let him get the chance to hit those sack flies. Let him get the chance to do it. Because look, do I think LeMahieu's going to come back to be an MVP candidate? I hope so, but I think he's going to hit much better than 270. I don't think he's a 270 guy. I think there was a lot of injury concerns there. I think he's back to the 290s, low 300s potentially. But this team just needs a lot to go right. And I really think Aaron Boone really has to manage this year. I think he really has to put that hat on and say, I need to do what is best for this team.
That's what terrifies me.
I'm pretty sure they're going to come out there with Donaldson leading off, or something like that. And is that better than Rizzo leading off? Yeah, it is. But do I think it's ideal? No. And I think Yankees are missing a chance with a guy like Florial. I think eventually this guy's going to get traded or he's going to be released. And I think he's going to catch on with somebody and be decent. I really do. I really think Estevan Florial has shown improvement. Even if you don't look at the numbers, look at what he did in this short time with the team. He almost walked more than he struck out.
Yep.
He batted 300. He hit homers. He was doubling everywhere. He has a great game against Boston, and you never hear from him again. And Brett Gardner's getting every single start in center field. This team baffles the mind a little bit, but they can go many different ways with the lineup.
I mean, I would consider Gallo in center field. I would put Stanton in left field. Stanton's a much better player when he's actually contributing rather than just being a DH. I'd have Judge in right. I don't trust Judge in center field to the fact that he can play it well, but with those legs and that range, and you have to cover in center field, I'd prefer him just in right, just to save his legs long term. Gallo's probably a bit better in that regard, and just I trust that more. I'd have Donaldson at DH, because Donaldson is an injury waiting to happen. He's been injured a lot over the last 4 years. So I would have Donaldson DH, and I have LeMahieu playing third. But LeMahieu, he's a better second baseman. And I'd say third base is arguably his third best position. But I just want to find a way of getting LeMahieu every day at bats. He cannot be on the bench. He's going to bat 300. He should be leading off. He should be at least in the top two in the order.
Yep.
So I don't know how they're going to constitute this. Torres, he does no good on the bench. I'm not a Torres fan. I'd have traded him for a starting pitcher, but Cashman destroyed his value, so you get pennies on the dollar for him anyway. So you might as well play him at second base. So the way that they've constituted it, we have no choice but to go that direction, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
What's your take on what's going on the Aaron Judge contract? Are you surprised that nothing has been done yet? Or do you think it's going to be it's going to be an off-season move at the end of the year?
I'm not surprised at all. And I have some, I've had strong feelings about this for a while. We shouldn't even be in this position.
No.
I mean, that's the crazy thing. We shouldn't be here right now. And Aaron Judge is looking for 30+ million a year, and he's not budging from it. And he shouldn't, do I think a deal would get done today, tomorrow? yeah, I think that's possible. I think the Yankees could. Would I also be shocked to find out that all the Yankees are offering 30+ million a year is all bullshit? It wouldn't shock me one bit. I mean, that wouldn't shock me either. So would I be surprised if this team drops the ball and Judge is like, yeah, I'm not talking about it till the end of the year? And if he does, let me tell you, I'll be the first one to say it. Buckle up. Buckle up. Because there's another stadium very, very close to Yankee Stadium that will back up the Brinks truck for him.
Oh,
whatever
absolutely.
he wants, he would get.
I think
And
if the Yankees miss out, Cohen's going to jump right in there.
There's a lot of teams that would too. The Giants would be all over him. I mean, there's so many teams out there that if the Yankees are sitting back and saying, we don't know about 30 million a year, we don't know about 31, 32, there'll be teams lining up to say, that's okay. No problem. We'll get it done.
Any agent worth his salt will be laughing at this scenario because the Yankees. Yeah, sorry, Pete. Yeah.
No, I just want to throw it in there before you start. Can the Yankees stop the bullshit? The guy pays for himself. Cut the shit. Yeah. His first year of being re-signed, even if the Yankees say, you know what, just for money-wise, let's make him captain. You know why? He fits the bill, one. He does all that. Two, you know what merchandise we can sell?
The marketing, yep.
That's it. That's all. And guess what? Aaron Judge is paid for. He is paid for. That is it. They have no excuse not to give this guy 30+ million a year. None. Just like they had no excuse to go after Correa on a short-term deal, which is absolutely mind-boggling. That Boris comes out and goes, the Yankees, we kind of talked about a 4-year thing with them. They just, why? Are you guys at your day? I would have went to Steinbrenner and said, hey, look, just sign off on this and I'll move salary. Literally, just sign off on this and I guarantee you, what you want to be under we'll be under 260 or 270. We'll stay under the 270 threshold. Don't worry about it. I'll move Chapman today. I'll move whatever I got to move to do that. But we're in strange times here. But Donald, just to kind of get back to where you were, he would pay for himself.
They named part of the stadium after him, for one. Two, the Yankees took away all leverage when Hal Steinbrenner last week said, Brian Cashman last week said that, it's a mandate from Hal Steinbrenner that they to keep the powder dry to re-sign Aaron Judge. So the Aaron Judge's agent will be like, oh my God, this is falling into my hands here.
Of course.
And the truth is, when you see how the fan base has reacted to, not doing anything in this offseason, Aaron Judge has to be brought in order to recover some PR here. They have to basically pack up the truck in order to pay Aaron Judge. They've got no choice. And Aaron Judge's agent knows that. Aaron Judge's agent will know this, man. I mean, it's absolutely insane to me that we have a $260 million payroll and Aaron Judge isn't a factor in it.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like we've prioritized re-signing Sevy, who is hurt, and Hicks, who's been hurt since the dawn of time, over him. I mean, that they've walked themselves into this scenario. They deserve this. They deserve to have to be brought over the coals for this, and they have to pay them more. They have to pay them. They deserve it.
I agree.
It should have been done. It should have been done years ago. Yeah. After 2017, they should have said, all right, you're the future. Like, of course. What other Yankee came up from the system and did what he did for us?
None. The last one was Cano. Robbie Cano really that came up and was terrific. And I don't think, there's a big difference between Cano and Judge.
Yeah.
Cano was never considered, he's a face, or, unfortunately for Cano, he was also with Jeter and A-Rod. So it didn't make it easy on him to be like, I'm the young face of this team. But Judge is the face of this team. Judge is arguably the face of baseball. I mean, you can make that argument. He's so marketable that I don't want to hear anything about salary with this guy. It's the same thing when I was talking about Correa. They signed Correa. Correa's first year marketing alone pays for most of that contract.
Yep.
That's just true. Easily. That's not bullshit. Look, even the Yankee fans that said they hated him. Oh, I don't want him because he cheated and, there was bad tension there, blah, blah, blah. They'd have been the first ones going on Fanatics or wherever the hell you buy the jersey and buying jerseys, shirts, everything you can buy of Correa. Flat out. It's that simple. So for Aaron Judge, Aaron Judge will pay for himself. And if you make him captain, if they go that route, that's even more of the reason to just pay him and get it done with.
No, I was one of those guys that I wanted nothing to do with Correa.
Yeah.
And then it just got to the point where after, debating with Robin Donald over almost a month going back and forth, it's, you don't have to forgive what happened, but you need to move on.
Right.
And you need to, if there's a player available that's going to severely improve your team, you have to make that move. I did one of those, I went on Instagram and I posted a video live on Twitter as well when the Correa deal went through the wire. And I was shocked. I couldn't get me. It was, I can't believe that the Twins were able to get him for that type of deal. I thought
we gave it to him.
Cashman's
exactly. When Brian Cashman handed it to him, and he even said it recently, didn't he? He was like, "Yeah, to kind of assisted with this," and you gave it, you handed it. How in the world? Somebody tell me this. Think about this Twilight Zone scenario, right? And it's something I brought up, and I when I was talking about it, I was literally laughing at myself because it's comical. Who in their right mind would have said, "Hey, yeah, so the left side of the infield is going to be Gio and Correa."
Yeah.
And everybody's sitting there saying, "Oh my God, yes, that's amazing. We're finally gonna get that's the left side of the infield we all want." Yep. And somebody comes out and is like, "Yeah, but for the Twins." What? And what are the Yankees doing? Oh, the Twins are just gonna give us their infield. We're just gonna switch infields. Wait. And we're getting Donaldson and IKF gets traded to them, then sent to us? Yes. Are you out your damn? There is no.
But we got rid of Gary, so it's all good.
Oh yeah. But got rid of Gary, so yes, sign me up for that one. And look, everybody knows I've been a very, very much. Matter of fact, it's funny because my friend, somebody brought this up to me in the chat. They go, "Pete, I remember a couple of years back, you were the only one saying go get JT Realmuto now, get him right now. This is before everything. Go get him now. Trade Gary for him." And I remember I was like, "Oh yeah, me and my friend Felix, we were harping on that very much because I was told very early on when Joe Girardi was still manager. He came into camp one year. I keep forgetting the year because it's so far back now, but that he was out of shape and they had him on a structured weight they wanted him to come in at, and he missed it by a lot. And It looks like he just didn't do nothing. And I remember I put that information out in a video and everybody's like, "Oh, you're just hating." And then A-Rod comes out. I was like, "Yeah, his conditioning's a problem." A former coach, I forgot who it was. I forgot who the coach was, but he coached the year before, left that offseason and talked about Gary, about how bad he is. Yeah. And one of the things that people forget about Gary was in the minor leagues, he was known to have a very bad attitude, but it wasn't a talking attitude, like talking back. It was that he didn't want to do the things that it took
the body language
to get correct. And that was an issue in the minor leagues, not even before his great rise with the Yankees. It was happening before that. So when I heard all this stuff, I said, you know what? This guy's not the catcher of the future. Go get JT Realmuto. He's perfect for this team. And I didn't care who they got at catcher. I really didn't. I threw names out there. Stallings I liked a lot. I just wanted somebody that could play defense. So I'm not mad that Higashioka's doing it. I'm just kind of surprised that he's really the guy. They went out there and got Rortvet, but Brian Cashman goes like, "Yeah, we got him, but we knew he was injured." Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, that's great. And
Pete, what do you think
Trevino's good.
Pete, can I ask what you think about the pressure they put on there, Volpe?
Oh my God. I talk about this a lot, man. I'm actually close with Volpe's dad, Michael Volpe. He's a follower of the show. He likes the show a lot.
Awesome.
We talk a lot online, and he brought it up to me and he sent me some articles and stuff like that. And I spoke to Volpe at the Italian American Baseball Foundation dinner, and I'll be going to a game over there with them in AA. And I'm also close with the AA coach who was also at the meeting. So we got there's a couple of guys there that I speak to often now. And one of the things that Michael Volpe brought up, and Volpe comes from a great family. I mean, if you look at Anthony Volpe's family, if you could compare it to anybody of just the rise, how good he is, it really goes to Jeter. It just does. And it's an unfair comparison. It really is. It's not fair for him. And I bring this up a lot, is that the comparisons are already alive and well. And that's not his fault. He just has great parenting. He's extremely respectful. You hear him talk. He's not fazed by much. And, one of the things that Michael Volpe brought up to me, because, myself, David Cohn said it live on the Yes Network. He said he thinks it's unfair that the Yankees put this type of pressure on this kid. And, Michael brought up to me, his father said, Pete, he was on USA teams when he was 18 years old, 17 years old, 16 even, competing on these teams in stadiums of 50,000 people. And he was in the same lineup that people don't notice with Bobby Witt Jr., with the top prospects in the world. And Anthony Volpe, coaches said he's the best hitter on the team. So people don't know that. And these are quotes from years ago, about how good Volpe really is. And if you meet Anthony Volpe, you look at him, you go, I was joking with him. I said, where the hell do you get your power from? I'm like, I'm much bigger than you. I'm much bigger than you. And I'm 5'10", 5'11" at best, 210, 215. And I'm looking at Volpe. I'm like, kid, where are your muscles at? Like, my goodness. But he, a lot of it is in his legs and his hips, and his mechanics are sound. But the pressure the Yankees are put on, I went back and forth with his father. I said, look, I'm not saying it's Anthony's fault. I don't think it's Anthony's fault. It has nothing to do with Anthony. I said it has to do with it's the pressure. The pressure is a weird thing because you could break it down a couple of ways. You could say, yes, it's pressure on him to perform. But think about this too. It's pressure on the fans that treat him a certain way. And that to me is important. That to me is the thing that sucks because now that's also out of his control. Because if Anthony Volpe in AA, and I hope not, I'm not wishing this on him. If he struggles out the gate, or if he ends up hitting 250 in AA, 245, still hits a good amount of homers, fans are going to look at that and go, we passed up on Trevor Story, who I think is going to have an unbelievable year in Boston. Carlos Correa, Marcus Semien, Corey Seager. We passed up on those guys for this kid because you know what the Yankees took away from Volpe? They took away the chance for this kid to have a chance of actually developing in the minors. Yeah. He has to be the shortstop next year. He has to be. And unfortunately, it sucks for him, but that's the reality the Yankees put on him. And that is not Anthony Volpe's fault. So that is not his fault. And I've even reached out to him and told him that, anything I'm saying, it's not your fault. It's the Yankees' fault.
Yeah,
it is. It's the fault. And David Cohn said it. I was shocked because the Yes Network typically doesn't do that. And Coney just came out and said, I think it's unneeded pressure they put on him. I just think it is.
Every show that I've listened to, I've said the same thing. We've said it. You're saying it. They're saying it on the Yes Network and every other baseball podcast in the country.
Yeah.
It's not fair what they're doing to this kid. They've never done this for any player before. They didn't do this for Jeter, but they're going to put the pressure on for Volpe. It's not fair to the kid. It's really not.
No, you've taken away his ability to progress even slowly or moderately or even just be an all-star. He has to be above that now because by refusing to, bring in Correa for a short term or Story for a short term, you're basically saying Volpe is going to be better than both of them. That's
or at their level, and that's not fair.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You're talking about a shortstop that I'm not a big believer in WAR, but if you like WAR, Carlos Correa is one of the best players in baseball. Not just a shortstop. When he's on the field, he's one of the best players in baseball, based off WAR, which the nerds love and these stats that they love. Well, Carlos Correa is one of the best. And the thing about Volpe is, I've had people reach out and tell me to say I don't think he's a shortstop long term. You got people that believe he is. He actually went to work on pitching mechanics this year. Not to be a pitcher, but he worked on it because he wanted to increase his velocity on his arm, and he's done that. So he does. Honestly, man, like if Anthony Volpe ever failed, it's not because of Anthony Volpe didn't try. So people need to recognize that and understand that Anthony Volpe is just playing baseball. I remember when I spoke with him in person recently, I said, if the Yankees go out there and get a shortstop, what does that do for you? And he said nothing, because at the end of the day, I'm gonna play somewhere. I'm gonna be a starter. I'm gonna be a starter somewhere. So that's his mindset. His mindset is it doesn't matter. I'm gonna play somewhere. His father's mindset is the same way. He said flat out, if my son fails, I'll be the most disappointed. I know how good my son is, and he's not wrong. The kid's really good, but you never know what happens. And here's the thing, and I bring this up a lot. Oswald Peraza already proved that he can handle the really tough parts of AA. Anthony Volpe hasn't done that yet.
Yeah.
His biggest test is truly AA. Because look, AAA is a little different because you got a lot of your guys that are leftovers kind of. They could get called up quickly. It's not the best of the talent. The best of the talent is in AA. Any scout, anybody would tell you that's why you see a lot of guys go from AA to the majors. because AA is a true testament of where your talent is. It's one of the hardest levels you'll find. And Volpe off the bat, watching him for the first few weeks is going to be really, really interesting to see how he comes out the gate, if he comes out strong, if he doesn't, if there's a struggle there, what that rebound is going to look like. I don't think this is a person that, if I see him and just the stuff I know about him, I don't think he's somebody that's going to really, dwell on if he struggles a little bit. But here's the thing. Nobody really knows. Nobody really knows that besides him. So if he has an 0-4, if he ever came to the majors and goes 0 for 12 and he starts hearing boos, because he's going to.
Yep.
He's going to at this point. Who knows how he reacts? I don't know. I just hope the best for him. That's all.
I don't know what you're saying about how he was brought up in the family structure. I think he would be able to shake it off.
Oh man, his father's a doctor. His grandfather fought in World War II. He was a doctor. Mother's side, the same thing. I mean, just up and down. You look at the credentials of all of them. He just has that upbringing. He really does. He has the best upbringing you can find. I mean, just a supportive family. He's got everything he's needed to be a great ball player, and he has the work ethic. That's the main thing, because you can have all that shit and not have the work ethic. Anthony Volpe wants to be great. He wants to be the next great Yankee. There's no denying that. I just kind of feel like some people kind of take their eyes off of guys like Peraza, who are really frigging good. His first at bat in AAA, homers the left center field. This guy already dominated AA, and his career so far in AAA, he's dominating that. Mm-hmm. So I had a lot of people telling me, why do they go to IKF? Just bring Peraza up. Ozzie Guillen knows his father very well. And he was like, I thought he was going to be the starting shortstop for the Yankees. That's how good he is. Street people don't even understand this about him. He's very friggin' fast. So here's the funny thing about Cashman. Okay, you want to get creative. You want to get more athletic. You got your guy shortstop already. Let Peraza start. That's creative. That adds athleticism to your team. You also got Florial in center field. How about you go out there and just add one big bat? Add Freeman at first. Add Olsen at first. Trade some of those guys. I mean, I know it probably would have took Volpe, so they probably wouldn't do it. But go hard after Freeman then. You know what I mean? There were so many different things you could have done this offseason that made sense. And they just seemed like they just refused to do it. So, we'll see how everything turns out.
I'm also a big Oswaldo Cabrera guy. I think Cabrera's really good.
Oswaldo's really good. I actually had an interview set up with him that I'm still waiting back to hear from. And we'll see how that goes. But I know with the season beginning now, it could be a little tough schedule wise, but no, he's also really
sides
good.
of the plate. Yeah, both sides of the plate, plus tools defensively. Can hit. I like him.
Yep. Plays all over the field. Good player.
I mean, the prospects, there's a lot of, there's a lot of promise in the minor leagues, of what the team could look like in just a few years. Yep. And it's going to be interesting to see, but to close this out, I want to get back to the fact that tomorrow is baseball's opening day. Yeah. And I want to know what team do you think that is not getting the attention that can surprise people?
The Mariners. I don't think the Mariners are getting enough attention. I hear a lot of people's predictions, and they're still saying the Astros, and I'm just sitting back looking at the Mariners team overall, and I'm just like, I think people are missing on the Mariners a lot. I really do. I think they're a team that can be extremely good, not just good. I mean, extremely good. So we'll see how it goes. I think Robbie Ray in that ballpark is really a perfect fit. Mm-hmm. I really do. It's not a prototypical, we're going to hit 40, 50 homers a year here type of park. So I think him being a fly ball guy, strikeout guy, he's going to give up homers. No doubt about it. He's just, it's like Cole. I mean, they throw hard fastballs. They're going to give up homers. But I think Ray's going to have another terrific season. And I just think overall they got a really good team. I think Julio Rodriguez is going to be the rookie of the year. And they just got a team that I think is very athletic. They got a really good lineup up and down. I think they got a pretty good rotation. I think they make some things work this year.
Why don't we go around the room? Robin Tats, where do you think will be the underrated team?
Actually, I really, the Mariners really did sneakily put together a good team. I gotta agree with Peter. The one team that's puzzling me, I don't know if they're I wouldn't say sleeper team, but it doesn't make sense. Are the Padres. It almost seems like they're in that middle of the field that they don't know which way they want to go.
Yeah.
Do they want to keep trying to push for that division, or they want to step back a little bit because the Dodgers are just too powerful? Yeah. So they seem like that team that's almost, half stepping it along the way. They want to go in, but then they hold back.
Well, I think with getting that manager in, I think that's a big win for them. And I think Voit is going to be nice in San Diego. I think he's going to be good there. And when Tatis is healthy, and plus they've got the pitching rotation now, getting Mania. So I think the Padres are in good shape. I would go the Twins. I think the Twins finagled Brian Cashman, and they put together a heck of a team. So I think they'll be a competitive team. So they'll be my underrated team. Rob, what do you think, Rob? Tigers, maybe?
I was thinking Detroit or Texas, because they both made some pretty interesting moves. I think Detroit they were surprising last year because they had what people would say was zero reason to win as many games as they did, and AJ Hinch had them playing well. So
there it goes. It goes down to the manager.
Yep, and wish we had something like that, but we'll see. Detroit or Texas, I'm kind of wrestling between the two of them, but I think because the moves Texas made, I'm going to say the Rangers, because the West, I think, is kind of wide open.
Okay, guys, National League and the American League Cy Young.
I'll say Sandy Alcantara, and I'm actually going to go back to I'm going to say Robbie Ray does a repeat.
Really? Okay. I'm going to go Max Fried, National League.
Max Fried, nice.
And I'm probably going to go Garrett Cole. I think Cole's going to have a big year.
I think he needs to. I think,
he has to. Got no choice. Rob, Tats, what do you think, bro?
American League, I think it's going to be someone from Chicago.
The Guians think Dylan Cease is going to have a monster season, so we'll see. Could be one of those guys.
They got a rotation. I'm going to say Lance Lynn. I think that he has another really good year. The National League is puzzling to me because, if DeGrom was healthy, it'd be him.
Yeah.
He's nobody better. I'm going to say it's going to go to Scherzer. I think Scherzer's going to have a brilliant year over there with the Mets. Unfortunately.
Yeah, the National League. Yeah, I'm right there with Rob. There's really nobody else other than DeGrom that you could think of. When you say National League Cy Young, he's the guy. And I still think that he's still going to get his starts in to get the Cy Young.
I got a sleeper pick in the NL too. I think Zach Gallen's going to have a monster year, but I don't know if he's going to be Cy Young candidate.
And Cease is expected to do really well. And I think it's going to be a repeat of that. I think it's going to be between Ray and Cole. I think the two of them are going to go neck and neck all season for it. But I think Dylan Cease is really he's going to have that year like Severino had, where they're going to give him the respect of giving him a vote or two, and have him in the third place. But next year is when I think Cease just breaks out.
Yeah.
NL MVP.
Bryce Harper and Aaron Judge.
You think Judge is going to get it?
I think this is Judge's year, yes. I think
this
is Judge's year.
Oh, the way baseball vote for the Yankees.
I'm going Judge in the American League as well. And National League, that's where I'm gonna say Freddie Freeman gets it for the Dodgers.
Wow.
I like Freeman. Good job.
I think for me, I think it's going to be really close between Judge and Correa. I think Judge is going to have a monster year because it's especially if that contract's not signed, it's just going to motivate him even more. And Correa is just Correa.
I think people are sleeping on Stanton. I think Stanton's going to have an even better year than Judge, in my opinion.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
The National League, I'm not sure what's for the MVP. There's so many names there's no wrong name to throw out there.
Harper was still the one that got away, in my opinion, for the Yankees.
Yeah,
100%.
Would have been such a damn good pickup, man. So he would have been so good in that stadium. My goodness.
Okay, last question. Oh, sorry, finish.
No, with Harper, if only he would have said, "It doesn't matter where I play in the outfield. I just want to play there."
Yeah.
His whole thing where it's like, I'm a right fielder. I'm a right fielder. Where we already had Judge there.
Right.
Judge's year. It's like, okay, if we already have a who should have been MVP, we had the Rookie of the Year in right field with that type of marketability. It was an easy decision for the Yankees.
Right.
It's just one of those moves that we haven't gotten over.
Yep.
Okay, over under wins for the Yankees and World Series. Who's going to be in the World Series?
Oh my goodness. What's the over under number for the wins?
Let's say I'm going to go 88.
Oh, over.
If
they don't do that, my God, everybody should be gone. And they won 92 last year. They should definitely win more than that. And that's the thing. Like, I have no concern about the Yankees potentially being better than last year. I just don't think they're a World Series caliber team as it is right now. World Series though, are we picking national, like the matchup?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yankee fans are gonna hate me, so cover your ears. I'm going Blue Jays. I think the Blue Jays and the American League, and I'll say the hell with it. I'll say Atlanta goes back to it.
Nice. Rob?
Well, over for sure on the win total. American League, Chicago, and National League, San Francisco.
Nice.
Yeah, no, I like the idea of Atlanta repeating. So I would have Atlanta and maybe the White Sox get in. I think the White Sox has a shot. They were with that pitching staff. I think they could withstand withstand the season. Definitely an over for the wins on the Yankees. Definitely over 88. And I think the Yankees do make a playoff run, but they're not. They can't. I don't think they're going to survive everybody else in the American League. Like I said earlier, before we were recording, I put my prediction out. I'll put it on the record now. I say the Yankees win 96 games. They'll win the wild card game, but they'll not get knocked out in the divisional series. That's my guess.
So for the Yankees, that would be a great improvement.
Yeah,
Cashman and all that will say this is great.
No, that's incredibly optimistic.
No, I'm being optimistic because of the defensive improvements that they did make this offseason.
Right. Right. Yeah, I agree. I think the Yankees get to the post. I don't see how they don't get to the postseason, to be honest. How far they go, to me, that's the question mark. And it depends on one of the things that fans aren't considering, I don't think, is who are the Yankees going to add at the deadline? They can't add salary. So who are they adding? They're going to have to do a deal again. If Aaron Nola or somebody like that's available, and you got to, last year of his contract, maybe you got to take on some of that money. It's either you do that or you do what you did with Gallo and give up more than is needed. And that's kind of going to be where they're going to be at because they're not going to add salary. Somebody said to me the other day, well, Pete, how do you know that? Because his eye, have you not watched? They're not going to go above 270. They got to re-sign Judge still if they do that. They're not going to go above 270. They've already said that. They're not going to do that. What makes you think they do it at the deadline? They're not going to. So maybe that was another reason why Cashman said hold on to as many of these guys as we can, because come the deadline, if we have to give more to get some money paid down, maybe we can do that. Yeah. But that to me is a concern. That to me is a concern for them.
I just don't trust that Severino's going to make 30 starts. In fact,
and here's the thing too. Speaking of Severino, I'll make a prediction right now. Either Clark Smith or Luis Gil have to have a monster breakout season for this team to win. If they don't, they're screwed because who's going to do it?
Exactly.
Who's going to do it?
Plus, they actually have to show faith in them. I mean, and the Yankees have never shown any faith in any starting pitching, any young starting pitching.
Here's my thing, too, with Clark Smith, right? Clark Smith's probably going to make the team. What is he making the team as? Don't have this kid come out the bullpen again. Stop doing that.
Thank you. Jesus
Stop
Christ.
doing that.
Pet peeve of Rob's.
It's just at this point, it's so friggin' obnoxious. This guy, you look, again, something else I've been harping for years. Everybody said, oh, Davey Garcia is great. I told everybody, everything I hear is that this guy's a relief pitcher and Clark Schmidt is the real deal as a starter. He comes in, he looks really good. He looks really good in spring. I mean, he's made the major league all-stars that are facing him look bad. He looks really friggin' good. I'm not saying buy too much into it, but he's healthy. Your number 5 starter is, I like Nestor Cortez, but Nestor Cortez gives you 4 or 5 innings tops. You're not going to get 7 innings shut. You're not going to get 6 constantly. If that's the case, and you see the way this guy looks, just pencil the damn guy in as your 5th starter.
Yeah.
If he
That's
doesn't
what Gary
perform,
Sheffield
send him
Jr. said.
down. Just pencil him in. It's not that hard. Just say, look, Nestor, we like you in this role. You're good in that role. You could piggyback on his starts. Maybe he goes 5, you finish the game off, and we got a big lead. You could do so many different things. Clark Schmidt should be your number 5 starter. They don't have one. They don't have a legitimate number 5. Let the prospect be the guy. If you got to baby him, but let him come in to start a game. Don't bring him in on his major league debut with bases loaded. It's just so bad managing.
Should be fired on the spot for that. But I mean, I completely agree, because for me, Nestor Cortez, I've been beating this drum, is Ramiro Mendoza. I believe he is I believe he's a long man, and I believe he's a 5th starter / 6th starter. I think you use him in that role, and I think he's perfect. If you over rely on him to be a starter, then I don't think you get the best out of him, because he makes the use of deception in his delivery and his pitches. It's not got plus stuff, but he's a smart pitcher on the mound. He's a throwback. And I think if you overuse that in the 5th starter, you're not getting the best out of him. So I would definitely go with the upside there. I would definitely go with Schmidt. I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about yesterday. And they've already announced that Schmidt's making the team. So they've announced him, JP Sears, and another one of the Gabagool boys is making it. So
Ron Marinaccio.
Yeah, so we were just loading up on the Italians here, but I just wonder what they're going to do with all these long men in the bullpen, because that's what I said yesterday. Is I don't want Heel or Schmidt making this team on opening day if they're not starting, because I don't want them giving them the Java treatment where they're starting and they're out of the bullpen. We've seen so many of our pitching prospects get ruined that way, and I fear that because April they never really go 5-man rotation. That's what you're going to see. You're going to see Schmidt come out of the bullpen. Or maybe he'll be back if Severino starts because they don't want to overuse him in the early stages. And I don't want to see that. I want Schmidt to be a starter. You're so invested in this guy as a starting pitching prospect, start him. Or put him in AAA.
And the thing is with him too, at the end of the day, you want to get something back on your investment. The Yankees knew he needed surgery. He got a surgery. He had a couple of more. Now that he's healthy, run with him. And just see what's there. I mean, because look, if he doesn't work out this year, he's not going to work out for the Yankees. He's 25 years old now, going to be 26. You're not going to go with him holding on, waiting much longer than that. Especially when a team like the Rays, a team like the Royals, they can do that. They can afford to wait. The Yankees should never have that mindset. I mean, sometimes yes, I get it. People can say, "Well, Pete, what if they?" You can't have the "what if they" mindset for the New York Yankees. You just can't. When you're a win now team, you can't have a what if mindset. And that's my biggest concern about this offseason. Is that again, you pencil the lineup, you pencil the roster overall, and you got to say it, right? When you talk about the Yankees, you sit there and go, well, if Donaldson, well, if Severino, well, if Stanton and Judge, everything is ifs. You don't look at that lineup and go, man, this team's gonna murder people this year. You say, well, if everybody stays healthy, they're gonna have a chance to be pretty decent. That's my concern. That's my main concern.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of our concerns.
Yep.
It's a half-pregnant philosophy about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
just to close it out, Pete, could you plug the big event that you got going for NYY News on June 25th for our radio listeners? Yes, of course.
June 25th. If you go to NYY News TV, at NYY News TV, you can go ahead and grab your ticket. So really cool thing. We got a partnership day with the Yankees at Yankee Stadium. It's NYY News TV Day at Yankee Stadium. So Tickets are available. The ticket is $120, but with that ticket comes from 11 to 11:30, I believe, to 1 o'clock in the MasterCard Sports Deck. All the beer you want, all the food you want, that is all included in your ticket. So we already got close to 50 plus coming. By June, we got to contact the Yankees and say we need another section or something, because I think we're going to have 100 plus strong that are going to be there for us that day. So yes, you can find a link. It's not just, don't just go buy a ticket. It's not like an invite thing. You got to actually buy the ticket off the link the Yankees sent us and set up specifically for us. And yeah, man, come out with us. It's going to be fun. Donald's coming. Donald's going to be there.
Yep.
So represent.
Yeah, Donald's going to be there. Most of the whole team is already tickets bought. Families are coming. It's just going to be great, man. I plan on going live, just like a pregame show beforehand, and just screaming and going nuts with everybody, taking a lot of video, a lot of pictures. It's a big moment for us as a company. It's exciting. It's fun. But yeah, man, we're doing a lot of things. It's going to be a really, really fun year.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely something to look for into going to. I'll be getting my ticket pretty soon.
Nice.
Oh, don't worry about that. That's just too much fun to just pass up.
Definitely.
But that is going to wrap things up for us today. Tomorrow, I hope everybody does enjoy their opening day. And wear your pinstripes for pride and play hard.